We are back, folks, with the PUFFCO Proxy, all thanks to Diamond Glass LLC. Check out the link in the description below. We have the chamber storage location, the stash storage location that comes with the cable. Max, you could probably fit 3 containers. Let's get onto the main unit of the Proxy. You'll be able to charge via USB-C, and it has one button to worry about, so it's like the OG PUFFCO. If you know that, then you know how to use it already. If you don't, we're going to walk through it right now. To turn on your PUFFCO Proxy, hold down the button for about 5 seconds. Once it's turned on, you'll have 5 different heat profiles: blue, green, red, and white. To change heat profiles, it's one click of the button. To start a heat profile, double click that button. Moving on to the PUFFCO Proxy's chamber, it has a 3D chamber, which we'll discuss later on how to best maintain. But beyond maintenance, let's talk a little bit about how hard you're supposed to hit this thing. You're supposed to sip it, not hit it. If you hit it, you're going to end up having a lot of oil that spills out of your 3D chamber, and then from there you're going to have it just all over the place, which will be a hard cleanup, which we're going to be doing right now to show you how to best clean and to save isopropyl alcohol, so you're not running out and having to buy a whole bunch every time you want to do a cleaning. Scraping reclaim is optional, but it's always best to remove as much as you can so you don't have to waste as many Q-tips as well as isopropyl alcohol. After you've removed as much reclaim as you can from the Proxy, you'll do a Q-tip swabbing with isopropyl alcohol. We'll be talking about Q-tip tech later, but in general, make sure you get all of those nooks and crannies taken care of and you do your ISO swabbing with the Q-tips as much as you can. If you don't clean up before you do your ISO soaking, all of your reclaim will end up in that isopropyl and will end up with a thin layer around your atomizer. Now, when talking atomizers and comparing the PUFFCO Peak Pro chamber to the PUFFCO Proxy chamber, you can see that there's a size difference, so you're definitely going to want to use less wax when having sessions with your PUFFCO Proxy. Also, I think that this is going to be a great move with the new connector pin on the bottom of the Proxy, so you will have less atomizer detection issues compared to the PUFFCO Peak Pro, which honestly has had so many issues, it's very hard for me to even recommend to somebody, but I digress. One of the things that you're going to want to be looking out for on your PUFFCO Proxy 3D chamber is any chasing on the sidewalls. We do have a video tutorial that is in the top right corner. Now that we've done all of our pre-soak cleaning, now we're ready to soak our atomizer in isopropyl alcohol and leave it in there for as long as you want. The longer the better. Honestly, you should be doing this every 20 to 25 dabs, I'd say, on the PUFFCO Proxy atomizer, because the 3D chamber starts to chaz all of the reclaim that condenses from the vapor throughout that usage, and if you don't address it fast enough, the chaz will build up and you'll have affected flavor. Now, cleaning the glass, we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to do a pre-ISO soaking cleaning swabbing with Q-tips. This is because we don't want to have any of that isopropyl that we end up throwing in with our Proxy pipe to have any film of reclaim that's dissolved while cleaning the glass. Also, if you're trying to save on isopropyl alcohol, try using a Ziploc baggie while doing your cleaning session so you don't have to use such a big beaker to clean your glass like PUFFCO's video on how to clean the Proxy. Once you've shaken up your glass, put it to the side, and let's get back to the atomizer and let it soak longer. If you think you need to let it soak longer, shake it up as much as you need to shake it. Once it's done being shaken up, you want to take it out and dry it. While your atomizer is drying, you'll want to swab your silicone tether jacket and Oculus Cap before soaking in isopropyl alcohol to avoid having any of that reclaim film buildup. Now, air drying is the cheapest way to dry your chamber, but we do use forced air on the channel mostly because we're trying to save time, make content, and not wait for the air dry to finish. So if you want to do that, check out one of the links in the description below. But we're going to move forward onto the proper atomizer installation on your PUFFCO Proxy. This is important. I messed up myself. I thought I had it the right way, and I didn't. This could damage the inside of your whole Proxy unit, not in a way where it would make it defective, but chipping paint and not really keeping it to the most pristine level that you could keep of your device. It's something that could happen to you, so I thought I'd let you know. For your tether jacket and Oculus Cap, make sure you air dry. Do not inhale isopropyl alcohol. It is bad for you. Now, moving on to the travel pack of the Proxy, you get a Oculus Cap as well as a ball cap. I don't recommend the ball cap for mobile usage, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. Installing the ball cap on the PUFFCO Proxy 3D chamber is pretty easy. It's probably easier to do it without having your chamber installed on your Proxy unit, so do it before you install your atomizer into your Proxy. The Proxy ball cap does look good, but the one thing that I do have a problem with is how hard it is to access that carb cap. Because of that, I recommend the Oculus Cap over the ball cap. Getting back to the Proxy glass after it's been ISO soaking, we're going to do our forced air drying, which you can do if you do have one of these air dryers. If not, you can just use an air dry, which is just waiting for air to dry, or instead you could use a heat gun. Either way, the travel pack installation is pretty easy to install and straightforward. You just throw that mouthpiece on the end and then slip that bottom travel pack until it's snug and completely encompassing your Proxy glass. Now your Proxy can stand or lean or stand, depending on what you want it to actually do. Either way, that's how you use it. Let's move on to the next part, which is the Q-tips and all that good Q-tip tech that we probably needed to know about. The heady mops definitely reign supreme in this category because of the size difference. They are smaller, which allows you to Q-tip swab in nooks and crannies, which you cannot access with those bigger glob mop Q-tips. I highly recommend you get some heady mops if you do want to get a Proxy proxy. Next, we're going to want to talk about the travel pack mobility issue, which is a huge issue when it comes to the proxy case and the travel pack. It doesn't actually fit, and also the ball cap which you get will not fit and close your bag. Also, the mouthpiece in itself won't close either, so you have to travel stock if you do want to travel. Next, we're talking Terp pearls. We got a 2mm, a 3mm, and a 4mm Terp pearl to compare between them, and I will recommend the 2mm because the chamber on the proxy is much smaller, and even then it's going to cause more oversplash than vapor created most of the time, and that is why I'll also recommend the Oculus Cap over the ball cap. Certain people might want more airflow, but generally the more airflow you have, the more likely you are to have oversplash. So just my words of advice. If you didn't follow my advice on how to install the chamber silicone jacket before you install your atomizer, there you go. Now we're pretty much ready to load up and pack up a dab and enjoy one, as we have almost finished this video. As I've said, use the Oculus Cap instead of the ball cap. That's because of the airflow velocity as well as the amount of spin you want to have. The Terp pearl's optional. I'd recommend a 2mm Terp pearl if you're ever going to use a Terp pearl. Let's load up some of this rosin. Let's get ready for our dab off of this white truffle live rosin. This is an Oculus Cap test. Cheers. I don't know if the Terp pearl helped that much, but we're going to test out the ball cap, so let's go. I recommend swabbing after every other dab. This is testing out the ball cap for the PUFFCO Proxy. Almost said Peak Pro there, but I didn't. Either way, it's going to 560 degrees. Let's get there. Cheers. Now, when comparing the PUFFCO Proxy Oculus Cap to the ball cap, I'll say that I don't think there's much of a difference. You can maybe get some more vapor out of it all, but in general, I don't think it's that big of a difference. Plus, it doesn't fit into the whole carrying case for the PUFFCO Proxy. I was kind of mad about that. I thought that maybe they could have made space. It looks like there is space. There's definitely space, and they did not make space. On top of that, I do prefer the Oculus Cap style, mostly because I like how you can plug it up on the top. I'm more concerned about plugging than I am with actually spinning, mostly because you can't inhale that hard anyway. You're really sipping, not hitting, when you're taking hits out of this PUFFCO Proxy. I tried hitting it a little bit, maybe too hard, and that's why we had all that buildup that I had to show you and how to get out. But in general, you don't have to waste as much isopropyl as PUFFCO tells you on their website either way. When it comes to the battery, it was reported by Forbes that you get about 15 dabs in total in the battery in this thing, so it does look like you're only getting maybe like 17, 18 if you're only going on blue mode, and as you progress through that battery, it will probably have less of a steady temperature to your session once you're getting low on the battery. I don't know that specifically. Also remember, don't forget to train your proxy battery. The way you do that is basically charge it up all the way, use it till the end of the battery is dead, then charge it up all the way and keep cycling it all the way to the bottom for about 5 or 6 charges. After that, your battery has been more calibrated. This is something you want to do with any lithium ion battery. For your phone, just look it up. It's something all over the place. Lithium ion is not something that is all that great. Hopefully we'll get into graphene soon, but until then, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, or become a member to help support the work that we do on this channel. If you do like it, don't forget to throw a comment below on what you think is the best part about the proxy ecosystem, or what your favorite piece is. So thanks for checking out this video. Oh yeah, PS, I forgot to give a shout out to DiamondGlassLLC.com for giving us a great deal on this PUFFCO Proxy to be able to put together this video for a homie that is going to be receiving this piece, because we're not going to be keeping it in the studio, but I thought I'd do a little video about it. So thanks again, Diamond Glass. Stay elevated, and peace out.